So a mosquito just bit me like, ah man, I'm already having problems with my costume. Yeah, so a mosquito just bit me like, oh god, oh yeah. This mosquito just bit me probably about like 15 minutes ago when I was washing dishes or something, or frying pans. And I was washing these frying pans, and I didn't even realize that this mosquito was just biting me to death. Probably bit me like 3 or 4 times. Mosquitoes are straight up ninjas. Like, my sister once told me that mosquitoes, they'll like they'll work in together, kind of like those raptors on Jurassic Park, where like one will like buzz in your ear, so like you'll be like concentrating on the noise in your ear or like around your head. They'll buzz around your head, and they'll distract you from the other mosquito that they're friends with that's nailing you in the leg or in the ankle. I don't know if that's true. Usually the stuff my sister tells me. Oh, usually the stuff my sister tells me that I believe, because my sister's legit. She watches a lot of like TED Talks, and NPR and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, you know. So if my sister tells me something, I had to prop my leg up here so I could itch it. Yeah, so if there's somebody in your life that like knows a lot of stuff and is like super informed, oh my god, my back. You should probably listen to them, man, because they probably know their stuff. Yeah, man. So, oh my god, I almost finally got a good night of sleep last night. I got 6.5 hours, which for people that are usually sleep deprived, 6.5 hours, man. Like you wake up from a 6.5 hour sleep, and it's like, oh my god, it's like, yes, oh my god, I slept for more than 5 hours. Oh! And yeah, I went outside today and I saw a bunny. I saw two bunnies actually, and then there was a bunny in my yard. I made a major mistake this weekend. Major mistake this weekend, right? So you know how I always talk about how I never drink, right? Well, I was supposed to have like this mushroom date, with this girl I always do mushrooms with, and she was supposed to come home, but she got surprised by people. People came to visit her um, at her other place in a city, and she messaged me that morning at like 7:30 a.m. and she's just like, "Oh my God, Dylan, I'm so sorry." I'm sorry, like Joe, like, "Oh my God, Joe, I'm so sorry." Sometimes I call myself Dylan because I'm cool. She's like, "Oh my God, Joe, I'm so sorry. I can't make our like mushroom date today, and we can't do mushrooms together." I'm like, "Oh, really?" Because like half an hour before she messaged me, like an hour, half an hour before she messaged me, I was outside and I was like looking at like these clouds and I was looking at the road and the trees and the grass, and I was like, oh, today's gonna be amazing. I get to do mushrooms today. Oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. I love doing mushrooms, dude. Like, when you do mushrooms, the first thing that you realize is that like you are like completely connected. Like you are all things. Like like you are nature and you could feel nature. And you are nature and like everything is one thing. It's so wild, man. And you also realize that there's no need to own or possess anything, like at all. Um, and and you also realize that like like everything is just presence, like to be in the present moment, and once you like become that present moment when you're on like mushrooms, or even when you're not on mushrooms. You realize that like love is the only thing that truly exists. Like being loving. And you could actually run this experiment in your own life, right? So I found in my life that, oh, and before I go off on a tangent, but when you do mushrooms or acid or ecstasy or Molly or marijuana or any of these drugs, you have to go in with the proper intention. You have to go in with the intention to learn something, about yourself, to learn something about others, to learn something about life, to be a student. So when you put it in your mouth, like, always think that like the only sole reason why I am taking this plant medicine or euphoric drug is to learn and be guided by this drug. If you go into any of these drugs, any of the drugs that I just mentioned, to have a fun time or to be like, woo, yeah, tonight's gonna be freaking awesome, whoa, and with that intention, whether it's to play video games or just to have a great time, you are most likely going to have a terrifying trip because you're not going in with the process to heal. You're going in the process to be like, yeah, party on, whoa, what, Wayne and Garth, and bad shit could happen because you're not going in as a student to learn about life and yourself and others. So so yeah. So if you are going to do those drugs, which I do not promote drugs at all, but if you do any of those drugs, go in with the proper intention for sure. Also, so what was I going to talk about? Oh, okay, yeah. So, all right. So, I was talking about how like all life is love and things like that. See how I have like these weird like cuts in my, and like I have these veins running down my chest and stuff like that. It's because I work out 6 days a week, and like my diet is completely pure. I have no sugar in my diet. I have no processed food in my diet. Like somebody that lives in Costa Rica or Thailand, that's like this native. I've lived in like 9 third world countries, so I just pretty much picked up their diet. So I don't really eat like a white person or a Western person for that matter. I totally eat like some tropical village town that only has cucumbers and bananas and crap like that. It's not crap. So yeah, so do this on your own, right? So look around at the people around you, whether it's your family, people close to you, even people at like Walmart or like the local like grocery store, and you'll see that the people that don't come off as loving, or people who don't seem loving, have a very terrible life. And they make poor choices and they treat people terribly. And they always are kind of resentful and bitter and pissed off at the world. And people who do not believe in being love or creating love within have always had problems in their life. Always have problems in their life, no matter what. You know, even gossiping about people or being caught up in drama. I don't do that. Like I don't talk about anybody. You know that incident I had with that woman down the block. You know that 60-something-year-old woman, where she like yelled at me. The reason why I told you about that is just because I needed to vent. I had nobody to vent to that day. You know, before this coronavirus thing, I had some people in my life that I could vent to. But all the people that I know are under quarantine now, and I haven't seen them in months or weeks. So, my regular people that I vent to, that I'm vulnerable with, they're all gone. And text messaging, it's kind of hard to do that. It's not the same. So, you know, being vulnerable and talking to a video camera and having, you know, 5 people watch, 3 people watch, 10 people watch is helpful. You should try it. Yeah, seriously. It's actually really cool. I've been making videos like this for years, you know, on my other YouTube account. Maybe if I become extremely, you know, famous from like my book or whatever, my ebook on Amazon, by the way, that you should buy. I'm starting to feel the darkness of suicidal depression again. Is it again, or is it? Did I write? Was it again, or was it? I'm starting to feel. Now I'm really promoting it. I'm starting to feel the darkness of suicidal depression again. Yeah, it is again. Joe Winterow, Amazon, ebook, 84 pages. Ebook pages, $3. Price of a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You should buy it, man. Took me 3.5 years to write that shit. Seriously, man, that shit's dope. Not for you, but for your family, dude. Throw that shit at your family. Like, just give it to your family. Like, you shouldn't even read it, because you might fucking kill yourself, or you might have a trigger. You know, because the book might trigger you because it's so fucking depressing in parts. It's really funny in other parts. It's kind of like my personality, you know, like sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's like fucking so sad and depressed and, you know, and just fucking manic and just like, it's pretty much a bipolar, borderline personality sort of person writing a fucking book, you know, and showing all of the craziness of somebody that's bipolar or borderline. Or schizophrenic, schizoaffective, OCD, eating disorder. I have all that shit. Trauma, I got that shit too. Abuse, I got that shit too. Being raised in a really fucking poor house, I got that shit. Being abandoned by a father that left me at the age of 3. And fucking, I haven't seen him in fucking, when I was 23, he came to visit me because I finished my master's degree and I got a fucking like teaching job, like a really nice like math and science teaching job. So he was all proud of me because my mom sent him a letter. So he was like, "Oh my God, look at this thing I produced. I'm gonna go visit him." And he came to visit me. I was 23. He took a walk with me around my like, you know, apartment, like condo type complex. And I spent, you know, a couple hours with him that night with my family. And then he left. And I haven't seen him or heard from him again. I've written him letters on like Father's Day. Nothing. But he said he was proud of me. But that don't mean shit, man. You could still be an asshole and be proud of people. Yeah, so it's been 19 years since I've heard from the guy. And before that, I didn't hear from him at all. Or see him at all. Since I was like 7, he came to visit for like, kidnapped us for like 5 days to drive around Maine and fucking take us to Disney World and some shit. Some people just, They just don't understand how to be there for other people at all. Especially all these fathers that have abandoned their kids and don't pay child support. My dad was one of them. He didn't pay the right amount of child support, so we were poor as fuck. I ended up living in a shed. I probably talked to you about this. Like, from age 6 to age 8, we were so poor. We were living in this shed, and we couldn't even afford a mattress for me to sleep on. We had a bunk bed, so my sister slept on the top, and me and my mom slept on the bottom, because we couldn't even afford a mattress for me. We didn't even have an oven. We had a microwave. We only had a turkey in the fridge, like one of those 15, 17-pound turkeys in the fridge that we cooked at my aunt's house, that we put in our fridge for the week. We had hot dogs that we cooked in the microwave. We had cheese whiz to put on the hot dogs. We had applesauce, and we had baking soda in the fridge to keep it all fresh. And that is all we ate for 2 years. I'm not fucking with you. I didn't shit. Like, I didn't go to the bathroom because there's no dietary fiber in that diet. Like, at all. Like, me and my sister wouldn't go to the bathroom for like 5 to 10 days straight. Like, all these colon problems I have now, like, my stomach is fucked up. It's probably because of not being raised properly, because we were so fucking poor. And my mom had no idea what dietary fiber was. Like, no fucking clue, man. Like, her mom died of fucking a heart attack. Her dad died of diabetes. So, being raised poor, man. But, you know, a lot of these fathers that abandon their children, they set up these conditions for their children. It's fucked up, man. But yeah, look around at the people that aren't loving, and you'll see that they have terrible lives. Alright, everybody, have a great Monday. This video's getting way too long. And enjoy your time. Zen, peace, blah. Love you. Take care, man.